Forrest Breyfogle here. In this session, I'll be talking about process performance and KPI Tracking 2.0 and measurement improvements that are related. The agenda: definitions and tracking, KPI tracking, process performance tracking, process performance indices reporting, 30,000 foot level metric reporting. Next steps. 30,000 foot level metric reporting is a process performance and KPI tracking 2.0 methodology that encourages structured process improvement efforts when a prediction statement is undesirable. First agenda topic: process performance is a measure of process efficiency or effectiveness. Process performance index is a ratio of a specification spread, or how close a process mean is to a specification limit, divided by 6 times the process response standard deviation. A key performance indicator is a measurement that demonstrates how effectively a company is achieving key business objectives. Organizations typically view and track process performance and KPI measurements differently. However, both report outs result from execution one or more processes. In an organization, there can be many different approaches for both process performance and KPI tracking. 30,000 foot level metric reporting is a process performance and KPI 2.0 methodology that addresses these issues and more. Shown is an example of a 30,000 foot level report out, which we'll be discussing within this session. 30,000 foot level reporting overview. The left individual's control chart assesses process stability. The right probability plot is used to determine the bottom of the two chart pair reported prediction statement. If the futuristic statement is undesirable, process enhancements are needed. I'm going to discuss 30,000 foot level reporting in more detail later and provide a free app so that you can create this chart for your data. KPI tracking. Typical KPI reports and their meetings discussion often give focus to achievement of arbitrary goals, are unrelated to improvement efforts, provide point-to-point comparisons, for example, comparison of last month or a similar month in a previous year. What are actions or non-actions should be taken from the shown KPI reports? Appropriate actions or non-actions are not clear. These reports do not encourage improving metric-associated processes. We need to highlight that Y is a function of X. That is, the output of a process is a function of its inputs and process execution steps. Effective metrics. View the enterprise as a system of processes. Acknowledge the effect of process output variation. Encourage long-lasting systematic process improvement. 30,000 foot level reporting provides a methodology to address all these effective metrics needs for KPI reports. Process performance tracking. Common performance metrics include on-time delivery, efficiency, productivity, cycle time, lead time, takt time, throughput, defective rate. Traditional process performance reports can take differing formats, for example, overtime bar chart, pie chart, or a table of numbers. The reporting of a traditional process performance metrics are typically only in a status report format. That is, someone making talk to in a meeting, where presentations often provide little, if any, value to the organization. Traditional process performance reports do not encourage undertaking process improvement efforts when a response is unacceptable and how a change affected a metric's performance or not. 30,000 foot level reporting provides a consistent reporting methodology that addresses these issues and often provides a prediction statement. Note, When a futuristic estimate from a 30,000 foot level report is unsatisfactory, a structured process enhancement effort needs to be undertaken. Process performance indices reporting. Process capability and performance indices are to describe how a process is performing relative to customer specifications. The standard deviation denominator value in CP and CPM and PP and PPK equations depend upon the process sampling approach for data collection. For example, an XMR controlled chart source is different than an XBAR and R controlled chart source. The standard deviation source for CP and CPK is short-term. PP and PP equation is long-term. A process is to be stable, that is, no out-of-control data points, before conducting a process performance and capability study. This control chart has no points beyond the statistically determined upper and lower control limits. Hence, the process is considered in control, and a process performance and capability analysis would be valid. For the previous shown chart, this process capability report provides for a specification of 72 to 78 calculated values for these indices. The process capability performance indices from this report are unsatisfactory according to the minimum value criteria that most organizations use for CP, CPK, PP, and PPK. For example, 1.33. However, how bad is the output of this process relative to achieving customer specification requirement of 7278? Well, it's really difficult to quantify. It is hard to explain also these calculated process capability indices values to others throughout an organization and what to do about them. In addition, what can be done if there's no specification? When no specification exists, process capability performance indices cannot be calculated. 30,000 foot level reporting addresses these issues and more. 30,000 foot level metric reporting. Our process performance metrics and KPI reporting 2.0 methodology is called Integrated Enterprise Excellence, or IEEE 30,000 foot level reporting. 30,000 foot level reporting provides a consistent methodology for reporting that structurally inspires long-lasting process improvement, whether specification exists or not. A structured inclusion in the measurements reporting of inherent process output variation, that's noise over time. A statistical over time reporting that shows when process improvement occurs and quantifies the new enhanced level of performance from an overall process output perspective. A vehicle to separate common cause variation from special cause events so that the best action or not action occurs. Insight into what is happening in a process and what to do to improve its performance never seen before. With 30,000 foot level reporting, there is focus on tracking the measurement response from a process output high level viewpoint. This high level 30,000 foot level statistical form of reporting provides a perspective not unlike viewing the ground from an airplane in flight. If a measurement response, and it's usually predictive, is undesirable, emphasis is given to improving the related process using a Lean Six Sigma or other process improvement roadmap. Traditional process performance and KPI reports do not typically address process variability in their reporting, which 30,000 foot level reporting does. Individuals and organizations can use a free software app to create 30,000 foot level reports. Enterprise Performance Reporting System, or EPRS software, includes behind the firewall organization vehicle for providing an automatic updates to 30,000 foot level statements. The two steps for creating a 30,000 foot level report are: first, determine if a process output response is stable from a high level viewpoint where data are from a long period of time, for example, multiple years. When a process is stable, is considered predictable. Formulate a prediction statement for the latest region of stability in one of the following formats. When a specification requirement exists, report the nonconformance rate percentage estimate. When no specification requirement exists, report the mean or median response and 80% frequency occurrence rate estimates. Noting that 80% of occurrence rate is a process output variation report methodology which provides an expected futuristic response rate for 4 out of 5 reported time increments. If a process prediction statement is considered unsatisfactory, the process needs enhancements. Organizations can benefit when they use 30,000 foot level reporting techniques for tracking the following process performance and KPI metrics, where typically time series reported frequency is month, week, day, or batch number over a long period of time. Reporting dimensional compliance of a specification. Notice this is an alternative to process capability indices reporting. Expenses, profit margin, new contracts signed in a month, customer satisfaction, net promoter score, customer retention, on-time delivery, supplier quality, supplier on-time delivery, non-conformance rate, market share, inventory, cycle time, production yields, employee satisfaction, employee turnover. A free 30,000 foot level reporting app is accessible through the web page shown here. I'm going to now demonstrate use of this app, which you can freely use for your data. The data set that I'm going to be using is John's diabetes blood test. This is actual data that John let me use. If you were to access that link that I just showed you previously, that would lead you to this eye chart builder. So the first thing when you see this eye chart builder is you click on browse. You then locate on your computer your data set. We're going to look at the A1C sugar levels from John. So I'm going to open that data set. On the right hand side there will be a snippet of the upper left hand corner of that spreadsheet. We then have to decide what type of chart we want to create. Well, in our particular situation it's no subgrouping. If it was an attribute we can use that or subgroup and so on. But in our case it's no subgroup. Now what we want to next do is highlight the name of the column that contains the data that we want to analyze. Control C, then I'm hitting the Control V. In our particular case, I'd like to look at the mean value. So you'll see that our process is not predictable because on the individuals chart on the left hand side we have a value that's outside the control limits. But in that case this is good because John wants to bring down his A1C levels. So, and you can see that he's done that. So what we can see that he's got we need a stage. So what we're going to do, we're going to stage off of the column date. And then we want to tell the program that we're going to use a date to stage it. Now we need to enter the date value. So for our particular case we have it's 2013-01-10. So now you can see that our chart has been staged. So even though we don't have a specification, we can provide a process performance estimate, and that estimate is that the mean is 6.16 for John's A1C, and 80% of the measurements he have not only now but in the future we expect to be 5.88 and 6.43. So if John continues his diet that he's done and improves since previously, and also maybe medication, then we'd expect that to have in the future. And if we think that that's still not good enough, then he would need to do some further process improvement. So I'm, for the sake of time, not going to add titles and x-axis labels and so on. but that can also be done with this program. So now I'm going to return back to the PowerPoint presentation. So hope you will can see the benefits of this app that I'm providing to you, and that you can see how you can actually use it also. So again, this is John's chart, and as you can see, I've added for this particular PowerPoint session the x-axis and the title and so on. And again, if the estimated mean that we have here is not satisfactory with 80% frequency occurrence, we need to do some improvements to our processes. Next steps. In addition to this video, I have an article that's associated with it. That's that first link shown here. I also have an ASQ Quality Progress magazine article that talks about this particular measurement situation. It also talks about some analysis, further analysis you could do to see what John might do to his metrics. Do have two other articles and videos that are somewhat related. Application of 30,000 foot level reporting is described in Management 2.0 and Leadership System 2.0. There's many 30,000 foot level illustrations, and there's also in these books a lot more on how it all fits together within the overall business. So these novel written books are available in paperback, ebook, and audiobook formats. 30,000 foot level charts can provide valuable, never seen insight to virtually all processes. To see the power of this enhanced approach for your situation, you need to really set up a half an hour Zoom session with me. Now you can set that up through the link described on the right hand side of the slide, or you can give us a call or email us to set up the session.